اے مسافر منزل تیری قبر ہے، طے کر رہا ہے جو تو، 2 دن کا یہ سفر ہے، 2 دن کا یہ سفر ہے۔ دنیا بنی ہے جب سے لاکھوں کروڑوں آئے، دنیا بنی ہے جب سے کیوں بے خبر ہے دنیا کے اے مسافر، منزل تیری قبر ہے، طے کر رہا ہے جو تو، 2 دن کا یہ سفر ہے۔ یہ اونچی اونچی محل بھی کچھ کام کے نہ ہوں گے، یہ اونچی اونچی محل بھی کچھ کام کے نہ ہوں گے، یہ عالی شان بنگلے کچھ کام کے نہ ہوں گے، یہ عالی شان بنگلے کچھ کام کے نہ ہوں گے، 6 فٹ زمین کا ٹکڑا تیرا مکان ہوگا، 6 فٹ زمین کا ٹکڑا تیرا مکان ہوگا، دنیا کے اے مسافر منزل تیری قبر ہے، طے کر رہا ہے جو تو، 2 دن کا یہ سفر ہے۔ اے پیارے سننے والوں، مولا سے دل لگا لو، اے پیارے سننے والوں، مولا سے دل لگا لو، کر لو رب کو راضی، کچھ نیکیاں کما لو، کر لو رب کو راضی، کچھ نیکیاں کما لو، ساما تیرا یہی ہے، تو صاحب سفر ہے، ساما تیرا یہی ہے، تو صاحب سفر ہے، دنیا کے اے مسافر मंजिल तेरी कब्र है, तय कर रहा है जो तू। 2 दिन का ये सफर है, दुनिया के ए मुसाफिर है। मंजिल तेरी कब्र है, तय कर रहा है जो तू। 2 दिन का ये सफर है, 2 दिन का ये सफर है।
Alhamdulillah, we are fortunate today that we have in our presence Sheikh Abdul-Rahim Hafidhahullah Ta'ala. Very briefly, we don't, like I said, have much time. Sheikh is the founder of Rahimi Academy in Bolton and also the founder of tafsirrahimi.com. And mashallah, numerous people are benefiting from Sheikh's teachings and his khidmat. And for me, the best introduction that I can do is that Sheikh, alhamdulillah, is my teacher, my ustad. And in 1997, I studied Sahih Muslim under Sheikh, alhamdulillah, and many other kitabs before that as well. So with this brief introduction, I request Sheikh to come forward and talk in words of his dua.
room temperature ठंडा नहीं. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala rasulihil kareem. Amma ba'd. We are going through the hot weather and we drink cold icy water, cold chilled drink, and that affects the throat. Alhamdulillah. If my voice is not a bit clear, forgive me. I do apologize, but what can we do? Respected elders, brothers, friends, mashallah, we are in Chorley. Maulana Yasir Saab invited me for the program. Chorley is a nice small town. My daughter's mother-in-law met someone in Umrah who was from Chorley, and they started talking, and the lady started mentioning Fazail of Chorley. There we are a very nice community, we have homely feeling, we are all close-knit and we know one another, and it's a very nice town. Now, my daughter's father-in-law passed away. So now she is alone, her iddat is done, and she's saying, I want to buy a house in Chorley and I move in Chorley. She is living in Walsall at the moment. The whole family is there. But she has one daughter in Blackburn, one in Bolton, and she says, I want to stay in the middle, I want to stay in Chorley, I'm going to move to Chorley. So mashallah, you are a very close-knit family-like, homely community. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala keep your muhabbat for one another intact. May Allah increase your muhabbat for one another. This is how the Islamic brotherhood should be. Today's program is about Tazkiyah. Maulana Yasir Saab keeps this regular program bi-monthly, Ta'aleem and Tazkiyah. Tazkiyah is important. We should have program for Tazkiyah as well. Just as we have program for Tajweed, we have program for Tadris, we have programs for Ta'aleem. We should have program for Tazkiyah as well. Regular program. Now you might be wondering, what is Tazkiyah? You know the word Zakat. And Zakat literally means to purify. Why is Zakat called Zakat? Because when you give it out, the rest of your wealth is purified, pak, clean. If you don't give zakat, then your whole wealth becomes polluted. And the zakat which is mixed in your mal could destroy all that rest of the mal as well. Ma khalatat zakatu malan illa ahlakathu. Because that zakat 2.5% is not yours, is the ghareebs, the poor faqirs. You are not giving it to him, so the faqir's property is mixed in your property, and that will destroy the rest of your property as well. And if you give out your zakat, then your mal becomes clean, pure, pak. You can enjoy the rest of your 97.5%. So zakat literally means cleaning, purifying. From there comes the word zakka yuzakki tazkiyatan. To purify, to clean. In Surah Ash-Shams, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes 7 qasams. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. والشمس وضحاها والقمر إذا تلاها والنهار إذا جلاها والليل إذا يغشاها والسماء وما بناها والأرض وما طحاها ونفس وما سواها. And then the thing for which these 7 customs are taken, oaths, is قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. The one who purifies his nafs has succeeded, he is successful. And the one who mixes his nafs with the dust has failed. To explain this and elaborate on this, Allah gives an example of a person whose nafs was wretched, who did not cleanse and purify his nafs, who destroyed himself and destroyed his people. كذبت ثمود بطغواها إذ انبعث أشقاها فقال لهم رسول الله ناقة الله وسقياها فكذبوه فعقروها فدمدم عليهم ربهم بذنبهم فسواها ولا يخاف عقباها. In the people of Thamud, there was a man named Qudar ibn Salif. He was extremely wretched, shaqi, badbakht, badnaseeb insan. He used to drink alcohol upon alcohol. He used to fornicate. He used to loot. He was a gunda, dada. He was the don of the town. He used to kill people, murder people, loot and rob, and all sorts of filth and vice. And he decided to kill that naqa, she-camel, which was a miracle and mu'jizah of Sayyiduna Salih alayhi salatu wassalam. Salih alayhi salam tried to stop him, but he didn't listen, and he, along with his gang and his gangsters, laid in wait for the camel coming from between 2 mountains, attacked the camel, فَكَذَّبُوهُ فَعَقَرُوهَا, killed it. فَدَمْدَمَ عَلَيْهِمْ رَبُّهُمْ بِذَنْبِهِمْ فَسَوَّاهَا. Allah's azab came, and Allah destroyed the whole community. Allah had given them time after time, 100, 200, 300 years. They don't want to listen. Finally, Allah's azab came upon them, finished, destroyed whole nation. Imagine one person's shaqawat and wretchedness affected the whole community. Now, if we all become shaqi and badbakht, and if we all go on the wrong track, then what's going to happen? Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam once mentioned, Allah's azab will come on community. And Ummul Mu'mineen asked, أَنَهْلِكُ وَفِينَ الصَّالِحُونَ? Would we be destroyed when Salihin and pious people are among us? And Nabi Kareem sallallahu alayhi wasallam replied, Na'am, idha kasur al-khabas. Yes, when khabasat increases, it is rife. Everybody becomes khabis. Everybody becomes badmaj, gunda, cheater, fraudster. And they are more than good people. Good people are very few. When khabasat overpowers the good, then Allah's azab will come and people will be destroyed. So in Surah Al-Shams, after 7 qasams, what did Allah say? قَدْ أَفْلَحَ وَنَفْسٍ وَمَا سَوَّاهَا. The ego and the one who straightened that ego. Whoever cleans and purifies his ego will succeed. And whoever mixes it with dust, meaning debases it, zaleel kar de usko, humiliate kar de, wo fail ho gaya. He's following his desires. القيس من دان نفسه وعمل لما بعد الموت والعاجز من أتبع نفسه هواها وتمنى على الله. Intelligent, wise is that person who controls his nafs, who keeps it under control, who puts the rein on it like the rein is put in the mouth of the horse, and the wild horse is brought under control. So his wild nafs is brought under control. He trains it. He looks after it. And he is preparing for life after death. His death and life after death is always in front of him. He's watching it. That's where I'm heading. I should be ready for that. وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ. He's busy, 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 busy. It is enough time to chit chat, to waste on mobile, on social media, on WhatsApp, on Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok. There's enough time for all that. He's busy. Namaz 5 times a day, tahajjud, ishraq, chasht, awabin, sadqa, khairat, tilawat, zikr, fikr, tasbihat. He's in the system. He's in his mamulat. That person is intelligent. He is wise. He's getting ready for his life after death. Well, ajiz, a foolish person, is he who lets his ego loose. Atba'a nafsahu hawaha. Who lets his nafs go after all the desires. Anything the one nafs wants, he gives it. No breaks. Always nafs is loose. No differentiation between halal, haram, kamai. Money can come from wherever. No problem. Income, let it come. Whether it comes from haram sources, interest money, gambling money, stealing, taking someone else's property, not giving miras, inheritance to sisters, whatever, wherever it comes from. Buying and selling in haram ways. Taking out loans, buying on credit and then paying interest. Haram, not careful. His nafs is loose. Going out to eat, eating from KFC, McDonald's, don't care about haram meat, haram chicken. Alright, chalta hai yaar sab. It's tasty, it's very nice. People go to KFC, eat haram meat. Don't care. You can't even tell them why this is haram. Nafs is loose. Haya, sharam, hijab, behijabi. Nowadays, many people go in holidays. And our young girls wear bikinis like the Goriyas. Muslim girls. Holiday par gaye hue hain. So we have to be like them on holiday. Inna lillahi wa inna ilaihi raji'un. The nafs is loose. Nafs is not under control. So he or she lets the nafs loose. And وَتَمَنَّا عَلَى اللَّهِ, and then has high hopes with Allah. Allah is Ghafurur Rahim. Allah is forgiving. Allah will forgive me. Allah will give me Jannat. That's not how it works. You have to work your socks off to earn the pleasure of Allah. Jannat is not cheap, my friends. Jannat is very expensive. You have to pay the price for Jannat. You don't go to Jannat just like that. You're thinking you can have the best of both? You can chill out here and do all haram things and then go in Jannat and enjoy there as well? That's not how it works. You have to pay the price. If you don't, if you do haram stuff here, then the route is the wrong route. You want to go to London and you take M6 north, you will end up in Glasgow. Both directions are different. You have to go in the right direction. If you're going in the wrong direction, Jahannam direction, and you want to end up in Jannat, that's not going to happen. Whatever direction you take, that is your ending. That's where you'll end up. This is why Allah said, قَدْ أَفْلَحَ مَنْ زَكَّاهَا وَقَدْ خَابَ مَنْ دَسَّاهَا. Whoever cleans and purifies his nafs will succeed. مَنْ دَانَ نَفْسَهُ وَعَمِلَ لِمَا بَعْدَ الْمَوْتِ. And this tazkiyah, cleaning, purifying. Let me explain a little bit more. What is tazkiyatun nafs? Let's say, for example, you have a nice garden. You want to grow some flowers, some vegetables, some nice mint, and you plant the seeds. But now there's lots of other things growing up as well. Weeds, poisonous things. What will you do? You will call in a gardener who will root out all those weeds and poisonous stuff so that the nutritions in the earth can remain proper, and the flowers and the vegetables and the mint which you want to grow can have all that nutrition and it can grow properly. Otherwise, the weed will take away everything and your plants will not grow. Similar is the case of the nafs. You want good qualities in your nafs. You want to clean, purify your nafs. You want to grow flowers in there. But your nafs is surrounded by lots of weeds and poisonous things. Until you don't root them out, you won't get those flowers in your nafs. This cleaning up operation is called tazkiyah. What are those weeds and poisonous things? Many, plenty. Who will explain that to you? Imam Ghazali, rahmatullahi alayhi. Read Ihya'ul Ulum. Al-Babu Rabi' fil Muhlikat, and then fil Munjiyat. Imam Ghazali will tell you what are the diseases of the heart which kill your heart. Takabbur, pride, haughtiness, arrogance, stubbornness, inad, ziddipanha, hasad, jealousy, riya, showing off, ostentation, hubbe jah, big-headedness, hubbe mal, hubbe dunya, love for wealth, hirs, greed, wantonness, shara, extreme greed. All these are sicknesses, diseases of the heart. Today, we have, let's say, hubbud dunya, love for dunya. On Friday, we had a program in Preston. Cost of living crisis. What can we do? Where do we turn to? Today, I wanted to ask you, what is the reason of this crisis? Why are cost of living very high? Why is everything becoming so expensive? The reason for that is capitalism. What is capitalism? There are few people at the top who control the economy. And they want their capital to keep increasing. They can't bear any decrease in that profit and in that increase. As soon as the increase stops, they start panicking. And they can't take it, so what do? They take it out on the poor and they suck the wealth of the poor. Whether it's the banks, whether it's the fuel, energy, whether it's the petrol, whether it's the supermarkets, everybody, they want to make money. Because capitalism is to make money. The few rich people at the top, millionaires want to become billionaires, and billionaires want to become trillionaires, and trillionaires want to become zillionaires. They're like massive dragons who want to eat everything. You will see Bill Gates. He wants everything. He wants the whole world. There's no end to his greed. He's bought thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of land in US. And he's into farming. He's got managers. Microsoft, that income is not enough for him. He wants the whole US and then the whole world. That greed and that wantonness is called capitalism. In capitalism, the few at the top, they control everything. The economy, they have the economy in their hands. They have the media in their hands. They have all the other institutions under their control. The government doesn't control anything. The government's work is just let it be. The government has to keep the public under control. They pay the government to keep the public under control. Our Prime Minister, Boris Johnson, once said, the MPs and the ministers, their salaries like peanuts. Because he was sitting with the oligarchs, the Russians, and they own billions. So he said, these 100,000, 120,000, this is peanuts. This is not enough for us. So the oligarchs feed him and he does their work. This is capitalism. And this is why they create this sort of crisis. There is no crisis. There is enough food, there is enough fuel. If you look at it, prices of petrol and diesel have gone so high, but the price of the barrel is still the same. 10 years ago, one barrel of oil was $110. At the moment, it's still $110. But they put the prices up, hike it up, because they want money from everywhere. They're not getting enough. This is why if you watch Double Down News, George Monbiot explains in there, what is capitalism? He says capitalism is the cancer of the society. What is cancer? Cancer is an infinite growth within a finite body. Our body is limited. But when the cells start growing, one after the other, and the cells start increasing, then you have to either detect it early and cut it out. If you can't, it reaches stage 3, stage 4, then there's no way of curing it. But khalas, end of life. He said, capitalism is infinite growth within finite world. Within this finite world. The way capitalism wants to make money and take everything, all the lands, all the properties, all the income, and you need Not just this world, you need many worlds like this to keep that growth increasing. But we live in a finite world. That can't happen. So they're going to finish everyone off. This is what he explains. Now what is this? This is hubbul dunya. Greed, wantonness, love for the dunya, which is a disease of the heart, which is a sickness within the heart. That person's heart is sick, who always wants his money to increase, and as soon as there is a slight stop in that increase, not even decrease, it's a break, a stop on that increase, he starts panicking. This is the level of greed some people get to. This is hubbul dunya. This is disease of the heart. This is why one hadith says, hubbul dunya ra'su kulli khati'atin. The love of dunya is the head of every sin. This is why one dua teaches us, Allahumma ja'alha fi aydina wa la taj'alha fi qulubina. Allah, give us dunya in our hands but not in our hearts. Imam Nawawi rahmatullah alayhi in Muqaddamah of Riyadus Salihin quotes some nice poetry. Inna lillahi ibadan futuna طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنة نظروا فيها فلما علموا أنها ليست لحي وطنا جعلوها لجة واتخذوا صالح الأعمال فيها سفنا. Allah has some bondsmen who are very intelligent. عبادا فتنا. Why are they very intelligent? طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنة. They give 3 divorce to the dunya, they are scared of fitnas. You fall for the dunya, you go for money, money, money. It's so funny in a rich man's world. Then that money is going to destroy you. حب الدنيا خافوا الفتنة. They طلقوا الدنيا وخافوا الفتنة. نظروا فيها فلما علموا. They look carefully at the world, the dunya. And when they realized أنها ليست لحي وطنا. This dunya is not a watan for a living person. If your heart is alive and kicking, you have iman, yaqeen and faith in your heart, you are alive, then you will realize that this place is not my watan. You know, watan means your place of residence, where you permanently reside. And safar is where you go for a few days or a few minutes, few hours. Like in Chorley, I am musafir at the moment. My watan is Bolton. So they realize that this dunya is not my watan. This is not my residence. Indication towards that hadith. You remember? Kun fi dunya ka'annaka gharibun aw 'abiru sabil. ما لي وللدنيا وما أنا في الدنيا إلا كراكب استظل تحت شجرة ثم راح وتركها. What have I to do with this dunya? Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam is saying, what have I to do with this dunya? My example is like a traveler, a horse rider, who during his journey stops under the shade of a tree, takes a short nap, brief nap, lets his horse rest, and then as soon as he wakes up, he gets back on the horse and moves on. So that brief moment for which we stop under the shade of a tree is the life of this dunya. Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anhu once came to the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he saw there was no furniture in the house of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Simple, just empty room. One body armor in one area, some weapon in another part, and some leather skinned spread on one side, some leaves of sidr in one area for boiling and making hot water for washing the body using like soap. And that's all. And he was resting on a mat. And that mat is made from the date palm leaves, which go crisscross, zigzag like cane furniture. And there was no mattress or anything on there. And he was lying on it. And the mat had caused red signs on his body. He looked around, looked at the pitiful condition of Nabi Pak, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and with tears in his eyes, he said, Ya Rasulullah, ud'u Allah an yuwassi'a ala ummatik. Make dua that Allah brings wus'at and expands the rizq on your ummah. These Yahud and Nasara, they don't even believe in Allah and they have so much luxuries. Now look at the adab and respect of Umar radiallahu anhu. Sayyiduna Umar radiallahu anhu did not say, فَلْيُوَسِّ عَلَيْكَ. Make dua that Allah expands your rizq and gives you more. He said, ala ummatika, for your ummat. And Nabi Sallallahu got the hint. He understood what he's trying to say. And he sat up straight. And he said, أَوَ فِي شَكٍّ أَنْتَ يَا ابْنَ الْخَطَّابِ. Are you in any doubts, O son of Khattab? أُولَٰئِكَ قَوْمٌ عُجِّلَتْ لَهُمْ طَيِّبَاتُهُمْ فِي حَيَاتِهِمُ الدُّنْيَا. They are such people that all their luxuries have been given to them early in this worldly life. أَمَا تَرْضَى أَن تَكُونَ لَهُمُ الدُّنْيَا وَلَنَا الْآخِرَةِ. Would you not be happy that they get the dunya and we get the akhirah? This is the zuhd, asceticism of our beloved Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So this dunya is not something we should fall for. Of course, we should work hard, we should earn our daily bread. But like Imam Nawawi is saying in that poetry, don't make this dunya your watan. Your asal watan is hereafter. And this is why he said, نَظَرُوا فِيهَا فَلَمَّا عَلِمُوا أَنَّهَا لَيْسَتْ لِحَيٍّ وَطَنًا جَعَلُوهَا لُجَّةً وَاتَّخَذُوا صَالِحَ الْأَعْمَالِ فِيهَا سُفُنًا. They made this dunya like a deep ocean. And they made Salihul A'mal, the ship, to sail in that ocean. Salihul A'mal, good deeds, are like the ship. And this dunya, the money, the wealth, the luxuries, everything is like that ocean. And you sail in that ship of Salihul A'mal to your destination and make your way through this dunya. Don't let that dunya enter your ship. If the water is outside the ship will keep sailing. But as soon as the water comes inside the ship will drown. This dunya is like the ocean. If it comes in your dunya, in your heart, then it will destroy you. But if it stays outside the heart, in your hand, then it will not destroy you. Because in your heart is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. In your heart is only Allah's Rasul. In your heart is your attention towards your akhirat, your jannat, your life after death, your hereafter. You're preparing for it. That's what should be in the heart. So, this is one disease which we fall in sometimes. Shaitan traps us. Shaitan lures us. When we are young, growing up, we have to go to school, and then we want degree, we go to college, then uni, then degree, then big job, then family, then kids. I'll settle down. And you grow old, and you're still not settled down. And the time comes, Malakul Maut comes, and gone. And then at the time of death, there is nothing but regret. I wish I had done this. I wish I had done that. I wish I had not done this. I wish I had not done that. Gone. Everything is gone. Nothing is going to be of any help after that. Whatever wealth you had gained, you will have to give hisab kitab of that. Yesterday, I mentioned this Ibratnak story in Tayyibah Masjid, groundbreaking ceremony. I was once in USA, and in one masjid there was fundraiser. So this Arab alim came, and he was a very nice person, very good speaker, and he mentioned this story. He said in Saudi Arabia, in so and so place, this extremely wealthy person died. He had no family, no wife, no parents. He was a loner. He died suddenly. Now the hospital tried to look for the next of kin. They struggled. Then finally they found out that he's got three brothers. And they, handed everything over. The hospital, they did his burial, everything. But then when they found out, they contacted and the family. And his matter was taken to the Qazi of that area, the judge in the court. He was informed. The Qazi looked at everything. He phoned the brothers and, they asked them, "Do you know this person?" And they said, yeah. He was our brother. We've not seen him for long. What is he? I don't have anything to do with him. No, but, you might be interested. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to hear about him. I have my own life. He has his own life. And they said, well, he's died. Okay, died. What? Finish. But he's left a lot of money. So you are the only inheritor. Oh, mashallah. Ji kya ka? Bolo. What is there? When there's money? Yes. I'm the brother. I'm the inheritor. Well, there's three of you. You have to come to this place, this town, our court on so and so date, and we'll sort things out. Now he had left behind $100 million. So they came, and according to the Islamic usul, they were the only inheritors. So each one got 33 million plus whatever. And they are really chuffed. And the judge, after giving all the verdict, decision and everything, he told them that, look, it's so much money, right? What if all three of you take 30 million and take out 3 million plus 10 million and, do some sadaqah for him, build some masjid or some charitable work for him. So one of them said, no, I have too much debts on me, I can't give it. The other one said, no, I need it. And the third one said, if he didn't give any sadaqah in his life, then why should I give for him? This is the dunya. This is the thing for which we work hard, we work our socks off. At the end of the day, it's all going to stay here. Nothing's going with us. So the love of this dunya is the root of all sin. When you have that love, then you'll be stingy as well. You won't want to spend on anyone, your family, your children, your relatives. You'll be stingy because you love money so much. You can't. You won't give sadaqah, you won't give zakat. You'll do anything to bring more and more money in. So it will make you sin, do other sins as well. Maybe some people go to gambling. They want to become millionaires quickly. National lottery, playing in the national lottery to gain millions. So this is all sinful life. Why should we sin in this manner? This is a disease of the heart. This is that weed, and this is that poisonous thing in your heart, and you need to root that out. And then you take other weeds in the heart. Takabbur. Many people are very proud, arrogant, haughty, stiff-necked. Pharaohs of the time. We see this dunya leads to takabbur. What is the World Economic Forum? Davos, where all the wealthy people get together. All the Pharaohs and Hamans and Qaruns and Abu Lahab and Abu Jahl of this time all gather there. They want to consume the whole world. The few rich, fat cats. They want the whole world to be theirs. They want one world order. One world order. For the whole world, they want one world order. That's why they get there. That's why they have started this Vision 2030. They started it from Saudi. The first time I heard about Vision 2030 was in Saudi when we were in Hajj 3-4 years ago. But then we heard it over here as well. on some channels and here and there that America and everybody is getting together for Vision 2030. And then I realized, oh, this is what's happening. They want to consume the whole world. Few people want to rule over the whole world. They want to make it such that when that happens, you won't own your house, you won't own your car, you'll have nothing, everything will be theirs. This is that pride and haughtiness and takabbur and fakhr and that feeling that we've got everything, we can do anything we want. This is what leads to zulm and tyranny and oppression. This is what made Firaun say, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. I am your highest Rabb. There is no one above me. I am the greatest. This is disease of the heart. Takabbur. And then other diseases, hasad, jealousy. When your heart is sick, you have too much jealousy in there. You can't look at the other person's good things, good stuff. You know, someone has good looks or good quality or good hafiz, good alim, or good clothing, good family, good looks. Then you bite your teeth at them. Accident. His car is very nice. I hope the car has an accident. I hope this happens. I hope that happens. I hope he dies. I hope he's destroyed. This type of feeling that comes in your heart and you can't take it. And then you keep grudges in your heart. You keep thinking bad about them. You have malice in your heart. This is disease of the heart. Bughz, kina, adawat, enmity, hatred for other people. This is disease. And you need to cure it. These are the weeds and poisonous shrubs. They won't let flowers grow in your heart. Now, what can we do to root these out? How can we clean our hearts? Tazkiyah. Imam Ghazali rahmatullah alayhi mentions 4 ways of tazkiyah. Shah Wasiyullah Ilahabadi rahmatullah alayhi narrated them in Wasiyatul Irfan. Number 1, he says, getting bayat to a sheikh. Number 2, staying in good company. Number 3, taking ibrat and lessons from bad people and their anjam and their final ending. And number 4, reading biographies of awliyaullah and learning lessons from there. Because when you read the biography of someone, it's as though you're sitting in their company and learning from them. Let's go over them again. Number 1, getting bayat to a sheikh. And he said this is the best way of your spiritual reformation, your tazkiyatun nafs. This is the way of the Sahaba, Ridwanullahi alayhim ajma'in. How were the Sahaba reformed? By the company of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam. This is why they are called Sahaba. Suhbat means companionship. They were not given any other name. They were given the name Sahaba, companion of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They spent time in the company of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They got bayat to Nabi Kareem sallallahu alaihi wasallam. He had took their bayat on several occasions. Hadith upon hadith in books of Sihah you will find. Bayatu Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam ala iqam as-salah wa ita'i az-zakah wa an-nush li kulli muslim wa ala an la nas'ala shay'an. بايعوني على ألا تشركوا بالله شيئا ولا تسرقوا ولا تزنوا ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا تأتوا ببهتان تفترونه بين أيديكم وأرجلكم ولا تعصوني في معروف. This is bayat. He's taking, they put their hands in the hands of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and they give their pledge. And once you give that pledge, it has a special effect on your heart. You are bound by that pledge. You are reminded by that pledge time to time. It's like a contract. If you make a business contract, if you just make it verbal, then you might go back on it. But if you consolidate it by going to the solicitor, all the paperwork, signing, shaking your hands, that means now you are bound. You can't back out. So this bayat and pledge is like that strong contract. And then you stay attached to your Shaykh, connected with them. Physical connection is not necessary. Today, connection can be through various means: WhatsApp, messaging, phone calls, visiting them time to time, listening to their bayans online, benefiting from the bayans. This is the spiritual connection. Physical connection, where possible, okay, alhamdulillah. If physical connection is not possible, spiritual connection. And that can also be through ma'mulat, practices. We'll give you some principles and you have to abide by them, act upon them. 5 daily namaz, roza, zakat, hajj, abiding by shariat, huququllah, huququl ibad, avoiding sins, pledging, making a pledge, I will never sin, doing tawbah from past sins, and making pledge that inshallah in future I will behave. And then making a pledge that I will do some extra nawafil like tahajjud, ishraq, chash, tawabin, some tasbihat, 4 tasbihat morning and evening, kalma tayyiba, 3rd kalma, 4th kalma, astaghfar, darud sharif. And these tasbihat, we should do them anyway. Even if you're not bayat, you should do these things. But if you get bayat, then you enter that contract, that pledge, and then you stay with your shaykh, you learn from them. And slowly, your spiritual condition is reformed and you become a better person. And these diseases are eliminated. And if you stay in the company of the shaykh, physically as well, then the shaykh will do your islah. If he sees anything wrong in you, he will reprimand you. Hazrat Maulana Ashraf Ali Thanvi Rahmatullah. Let's go back. Hazrat Pirane Pir Sheikh Abdul Qadir Jilani Rahmatullah Ali in Baghdad, Iraq. He has his Zawiyah. Thousands of people attend his Zawiyah, his Khanqah. And he delivers lectures. They stay in his company. They learn from him. And he was very strict Sheikh. If he sees anything wrong in them, he will stay straight on their faces. Don't do this again. I don't want to see that happening again. And in many cases, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to do that to the Sahaba. Why did you do this? And Sahaba would say, sorry, Ya Rasulullah, I will never do it again. And I give it up. For example, they are returning from the Rajm, stoning to death of Ma'iz al-Aslami. And Khalid bin Walid or someone said that, why did he have to come and declare his sin and he was stoned like a dog is stoned to death? Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam overheard this and he said, don't say this. His tawbah was so strong that if his tawbah and repentance was distributed over the whole of Medina, then everybody would be forgiven. That's how strong his tawbah was. On another occasion, someone said some similar remark. Prophet ﷺ overheard it. He kept on walking. And then he said, where is so-and-so? And they said, we are here, Ya Rasulullah. And he said, get off your rides and eat from the meat of this dead donkey. Now the donkey had died a few days ago, was smelling. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, who's going to eat from there? And Rasulullah said, the flesh you ate of your Muslim brother by doing his ghibat and backbiting him is worse than eating this donkey. Don't backbite again. Sorry, we will not backbite anyone again. Prophet ﷺ, rectifying and cleaning and addressing them. So many times the Shaykh will say it directly, I don't want you doing this again. Behave yourself. So he will understand, he will see you, observe you, and correct your mistakes. Many times he might say it in a subtle way, because Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam sometimes used to say it indirectly as well. Sometimes he would say, Ma balu aqwamin yaquluna kaza wa kaza. What is with people that they say such and such things? What is wrong with people that they do such and such things? On one occasion, regarding Friday's ghusl. He said, what is wrong with people that they come to Jummah Salah in this hot weather and they haven't done ghusl and there is sweat and perspiration, smell coming out of their bodies. Why can't you do ghusl on Fridays? He said, غسل يوم الجمعة واجب على كل محتلم. The ghusl of Yawmul Jummah is wajib on every baligh person. Wajib over here means muakkad, emphasized. So you should do ghusl. And I will say this. We are going through this hot weather. Alhamdulillah, it's a blessing for us in England. But sometimes our bodies smell because of the sweat. So we should have a shower every day. Just pour 2 minutes. It only takes 2 minutes to take a shower. Just pour some water over your body. You don't need to use soap, shampoo every day. Just pour water over your body as though you're doing wudu and then come for namaz. So there's no smell in our body. Otherwise, apply some perfume and make sure your body is smelling good, your clothes are smelling good. You don't annoy anyone who is next to you. So, Nabi Pak Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to reprimand, correct mistakes of people. Your Shaykh will correct your mistakes. I was mentioning Hazrat Maulana Shifri Thanvi Rahmatullah Alayhi. People used to come to his khanqa and he was very principled personality, very disciplined. And those murids who come have to be very disciplined as well and go by a set routine. They would be given one small room, different small rooms for everyone. You can't interact with anyone else. You have to stay in your room and keep busy with ma'mulat, tilawat, tasbihat, azkar, awrat. And if you need anything, you have to write your daily halat on piece of paper, leave them in the box. Hazrat would take that box, read everything, and write answers to it. Khaja Azizul Hasan Madzoob Rahmatullah Alayhi came. He was a very talkative person. So Hazrat told him, you talk too much. You need to silence up a little bit. Hazrat, okay, inshallah, whatever you say. Hazrat said, write on one takhti, on piece of paper in large writings, khamosh, silent. And then tie some rope with it and wear it around your neck, around the khanqa. So when you come from your room, going around to wuzu khana, toilet, it's written on there, khamosh. So everybody sees that nobody talks to you and you don't talk to anyone. Okay, and he did it. For a few days, he was not able to say a single word to anyone. Hazrat trained him to talk less because talking too much is no good. Everything is recorded here, right and left. Why do you want to increase your hisab kitab? Why are you talking too much? So, mashayikh, they look at what illness is in you and they try to rectify that. This is why Shah Wasiullah al-Habari Rahmatullah said, the best way of reformation is bayat. Get bayat and your tazkiyah will be done with the shaykh, inshallah. And when you do ma'mulat, you do lots of zikr, azkar, the illnesses and diseases of the nafs are overpowered and the anwar and the light of zikr comes on top. So the disease are at the bottom and they don't affect you. The anwar are on the top. And then you don't feel that urge and desire to sin. The desire to sin is something which needs to be brought under control. Sins of the eyes, sins of the ears, sins of the tongue, sins of the hands and feet and private parts. You need to avoid all those things. We do get the urge to sin. But how do we bring that under control? We let zikr and tilawat and ma'mulat and the anwar overpower that desire. So the base desires goes below and the anwar of zikr are above. You do lots of zikr, azkar, awrad according to the zikr given by your shaykh, and the zikr is on top and the desires are, base desires are at the bottom, and your life is moving smoothly, inshallah. You don't get, this is why mashayikh say, when a person's heart is cleansed, then to him, a stone and a naked woman are both equal. Just as if you look at a rock, you don't have any desire or lust. Even if a naked woman came in front of you, you won't have any desire or lust. Because your heart is filled with anwarat. Your mind is not there. You will not look at that person. You will lower your gaze. You will look elsewhere. Your heart will become such trained that you won't have that shahwat and desire for the opposite gender. You will realize that it's haram for me to look at her. She might be naked. It's her action, but it does not allow me to stare at her. So this is how your zikr will overpower you, and the desire for sins will be eliminated. It won't be totally eliminated, it will be overpowered. It could come up again if you leave that zikr, azkar and awrat, but this way it will be kept down and overpowered. So this is one way of reformation. Second is, staying in good company. Have some good friends. Stay with good friends and tell them, if you see anything wrong in me, please tell me. And when they do tell you, be grateful. They said, you shouldn't have done this, that was wrong. Oh, thank you so much for telling me, yeah. I never realized that. And next time, don't do it. And number 3, I'm shortening, quick finishing now, looking at, bad people and learning from them. So-and-so person went into drugs. Look what happened, he ended up in jail. Or he had joyriding, he had an accident and dead, killed, finished. I'm not going in drugs. I'm not going to behave like that. So-and-so went in such bad company, he did that, this happened to him. And whenever you see these things, you take lesson from them. You take ibrat, lesson. And finally, 4th is, you read biographies of mashayikh. Read some nice book of seerah, nice book on Sahaba, Hazrat Abu Bakr, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, Khulafai Rashideen, and then nice books on the biographies of mashayikh kiram, like maybe Imam Bukhari, Imam Abu Hanifa, Pirani Pir Sayyidina Abdul Qadir Jilani, mashayikh Chisht, and your mashayikh, our Hazrat, and Hazrat Sheikh Zakaria Nawarallahu Makadahu, Hazrat Saharanpuri, Hazrat Gangohi. Read their biographies, they are available, widely available. When you read the biography of someone, you're sitting in their company, and you will learn from the stories they say, from their beautiful words of advice which they give, and this will rectify your inner self, and you will be able to correct yourself. So, today's topic was about Tazkiyah. And we have explained what is the meaning of Tazkiyah, how we need to kill off all the bad habits and extract them and bring the good flowers within our hearts, the good characteristics of sabr, shukr, hilm, tawadhu, sakhawat, and giving preference to others, and ta'alluq ma'allah, and hubbul akhirat, and humbleness, humility. These are the fruits, and we need them within us, and we need to bring them in us. This is called Tazkiyah. When we reach this, when you achieve this, this is Tazkiyah. One hadith comes to my mind, which is in Tabarani, which explains a little bit more. The Sahabi asked, فَمَا تَزْكِيَةُ الْمَرْءِ نَفْسَهُ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. What is Tazkiyah of a person for himself? And he said, أَن يَعْلَمَ أَنَّ اللَّهَ مَعَهُ حَيْثُ كَانَ. That he realizes Allah is with him wheresoever he is. This is your Tazkiyah. When you reach that stage, then your Tazkiyah is done. May Allah give us. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد ان لا اله الا انت نستغفرك ونتوب اليك اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد النبي الامي وعلى اله وصحبه وسلم تسليما اللهم آت نفوسنا تقواها وزكها أنت خير من زكاها أنت وليها ومولاها اللهم إنا نسألك نفوسا بك مطمئنة تؤمن بلقائك وترضى بقضائك وتقنع بعطائك اللهم إنا نسألك قلوبا أواهة مخبتة منيبة في سبيلك يا رب العالمين या रहमान रहीम महज अपने फजल व करम से हम सब की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए पूरी उम्मत की मग़फ़िरत फरमा दीजिए हमारे यहाँ उठना बैठना कहना सुनना कबूल फरमाइए हमारे नुफूस का तज़किया फरमाइए अखलाक़ हसना फ़ाज़िला से हमको आरास्ता पैरास्ता मुज़य्यन फरमाइए अखलाक़ रज़ीला सय्या से नजात अता फरमाइए हमारी टूटी फूटी दुआएं सुन लीजिए हर खैर अता फरमा दीजिए हर शर से बचा लीजिए रब्बना तक़ब्बल मिन्ना इन्नका अंतस समीउल अलीम व तुब अलैना इन्नका अंतत तव्वाबुर रहीम व सल्लल्लाहु व सल्लिम अला सय्यिदिना मुहम्मद व आलिहि